Alrighty, another very special guest this time, all the way from the US of A, Dr. Joseph Kerski from Esri. Now, special, talented geographer with us here, aren't you? You're a bit of a YouTube sensation with your singing. You know, if you haven't seen the Joseph Kerski on his guitar.
Don't punish yourself. But thank you, sir.
It's always Friday night entertainment at our house. It's a pretty sad house, maybe. I don't know. What do you reckon?
I'm very passionate, like you are, about spreading the word that this all actually matters. And whether it's a podcast or a video or a essay or a lesson, it's whatever we can do to nudge the needle forward. So I'm glad those videos help a little bit.
So, but anyway, we're talking today about the silent G in STEM. I learned this yesterday with the guy I was presenting with, Theo Hartman. So thank you for this one. We're going to take it, we're going to steal it, we're going to run with it because we love the silent. We don't love the silent G. We want to make it a spoken G. But the silent G is geography, is what we're talking about. So Joseph, tell us a little bit about the silent G. Why does it matter? Why does the G matter in STEM, and how do teachers actually get started in this?
Well, sir, thank you so much for having me, and greetings to everyone. I really feel passionately about that all of the things that you grapple with in STEM education, in civil engineering, computer science, in biology, in physics, they're spatial in nature. They have patterns, relationships, and trends that can be discovered through applied geography. So there's that G word. And geography is all about patterns, relationships, and trends, and seeing things from a holistic perspective. So the relationship between the biosphere, the anthrosphere, human influence, the lithosphere, the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, etc. And so geography is that holistic view, but it's also looking at things in a spatial temporal mode. In other words, change over space and change over time. They're both critically important to our planet. So geography, applied geography, is critical to STEM education. It always has been, but it hasn't been until we have had these powerful web mapping geographic information systems tools at our fingertips have we been able to help educators and their students to really, okay, how can I actually do this as a scientist? Well, there are certain things you can do with these tools that will help you understand the patterns of relationships and trends that are critical to the 21st century.
And those tools are what make this so engaging in the classroom. And our kids, you know, we've seen so much here at the GTAV conference that our kids want to be engaged. They have a social conscience about the future. And so those tools that we can use to really bring it to life for them, that's what you're talking about here, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah. Two things come to mind. First of all, these geographic information systems, geotechnology tools, they are usually one of three main technologies that different bureaus of labor, different economic authorities around different education ministries around the world have said these are important tools for students to learn. The other two are nanotechnologies and biotechnologies. So geotechnologies, nanotechnologies, and biotechnologies, three key tools for the 21st century. So we are firmly anchored in one of the three main areas. And the second thing I would like to say about that is that this is really a way to apply spatial and critical thinking to real-world situations and real-world problems, as you identified. Climate, population change, natural hazards. Hey, Paul, these aren't very serious problems. Fires in Queensland. We've had fires in Brazil. I mean, we've got a hurricane bearing down on the U.S. East Coast. I mean, all of those things, and we've got biodiversity loss. We've got climate change, etc. Need I go on? No, I don't need to go on. You all understand what I'm saying. But the point is, these tools, they're critical to learn about in the classroom. So you can use, for example, ArcGIS Online, story maps, Survey 123, tools that allow you to collect in citizen science mode out in the field and bring it in, map it, and analyze it. But they're also, even more important than you learning about them in the classroom, you can get a job with these tools on your tool belt. And even more important than that is you can make a positive difference. As you said, you're passionate about pollinators. Great. Having an organization that will let you use the tools to make systems, technology was invented to actually make decisions that are smart, that are sustainable, that are healthy, that are happy for our planet.
And so if I'm not a geographer, I'm not a geography teacher, but I can see what you're saying with that STEM side and giving my students the skills of the future and how this relates into it. Where do I get started?
Yeah, so let's say you are a biology teacher and you're collecting, every year you go out with your students and you collect water quality and quantity in certain streams and ponds or even on an ocean shore near your community. Great. So you've got this data, maybe you've had it in a spreadsheet for years, maybe you use some sort of visualization tools, but the powerful thing here with the advent of web-based geographic technologies is that you can actually simply upload that spreadsheet of data into ArcGIS Online and look at the spatial patterns. What's the relationship of dissolved oxygen in the winter versus the summer, or sulfate, or pH, etc. You can look at spatial patterns, and sometimes there is no spatial pattern, and that's okay too. But you're actually looking at it in a 2D or even a 3D map, and looking at the relationship between, let's say you're a biology teacher, north-facing slope soil moisture and tree cover versus south-facing slope soil moisture and tree cover. Where I'm from and where you're from, north-facing and south-facing is completely different, right? In terms of which slope has the more, the less or the more soil moisture content, or the different kinds of vegetation. So, okay, that's okay if you're not a geography teacher. Actually, most of the geographic information systems trailblazing in education was done by science teachers. They were more comfortable with technology a bit than geography teachers were. They had more access to technology tools, and I think they were a little bit more willing to do field work and experimentation using inquiry-based methods than geography teachers in the past were. Now, fortunately, geography teachers and history teachers and other people have come along because they've seen that, oh, I can do this as well. And so back on the science teachers, the STEM teachers, looking into ArcGIS Online, making maps, doing a little bit of spatial analysis, making story maps, multimedia maps with audio, video, so I could explain my field work. What did I learn about water quality in my community? What did I learn about the kinds of pollution that I've seen, that I've collected samples of 20 trash samples, and this was the content of the trash. This was X% plastic, it was X% paper, etc. And I want to map it and analyze it, and then I want to communicate the results with something like a story map to not just my classmates, but maybe the community. Ooh, maybe you share that with your own community, city council, or someone else. So that's the powerful thing about this.
Because that science communication is such an important part of this, and being able to share that data, to be able to go and we see student action happening, and I think one of the speakers yesterday spoke about the need to talk differently about climate action and climate change in order to be able to get more people on board. And so if you have got those skills that we have developed through Story Map and all of those other spatial analysis tools that you get taught, we're going to be a much better space for a lot of these challenges that our world's facing.
Very good point. And it's nice that you've got access as a student and as an instructor to a professional tool set that is geographic information systems. You don't have to wait till the students are out in the workplace to have access to it. You have access to it now. The challenge then is teaching with it is, how do I use a professional tool in the classroom? It's not educational software, it's actually using a professional tool. So how do I take pieces of it and teach with those pieces? I don't have to learn the whole gamut of geotechnologies.
Right, well, as you can see, my hand here is getting a little bit tired holding this, but what an amazing talk. We could go on for absolutely hours on this stuff.
You and I could.
You and I could. I know that you definitely can, judging by the amount of, if you have not checked out this man's YouTube, Twitter, what else have we got? Give us all of the channels where we can find you
I've
on.
got a podcast called Thinking Spatially. Folks, I'm just happy to be part of this community, but if I can help you at all in you students, your instructors out there to move this needle forward a bit, that's what I'm here for. So I'm just glad to be a part of the community with you, Paul, and your colleagues. Thanks.
Thank you. And look, so if you want more of Joseph's insights into all of this, I said check him out on his socials. He has got a wealth of knowledge, wealth of information, some absolutely brilliant videos for you viewing on a Friday night and to share with your kids. But no, we will be sharing a lot more of the resources that Esri has got, because they are. Where is our camera? There we go. Are we back?
Continental drift, Paul. Ooh.
So I think that might be telling us time to get out of here.
Indeed.
Go find some lunch. And,
Nap on.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Paul.
Joseph. Bye.